Hey y'all, y'all didn't ride to work with me this morning. Sorry about that. I've been in slow motion today. Okay, just it's that time, so I've been in slow motion today. Let's talk about it. So, having been an educational leader in multiple capacities over my 20-year career, some of that at the school level, some of it at the network district level, I realized post-pandemic principals and school leadership teams are just faced with the gamut of things, and one of those things being excessive absenteeism, teacher attrition, like high teacher turnover, just motivating staff. And one of the things that I've seen happen so much at high need schools is teachers taking off a lot, don't call in, don't get subs. And of course, as school leaders, you have to find, the best way to supervise and protect children when you don't have a sub or something, or, things like that. And so, I just want to quickly get y'all's take on what are your thoughts on using what I guess some would consider your least leveraged teachers. So they're not content area teachers as far as tested subject areas. They may be teachers of different federal programs like EL teachers, SPED teachers. And of course, they have planning periods too. They still plan for classes. But what I've seen in a school is where those are typically the only teachers that's pulled to step in when other teachers are out and they don't have sub coverage. And I'm sure, because they want to prioritize tested subject area teachers, making sure that they get their planning, but also in speaking of positive school climate, positive school culture, when you not intentionally minimize one teacher versus another teacher? Is it because they teach a certain content area, a tested area, a non-tested area? That can quickly become like a very negative impact on your overall school culture. Of course, you have more tested subject area teachers than you do the other ones, but you also want to make sure that you're being solution focused. So one of the things that I propose is, doing a rotation. If you have a school staff of 100 teachers, and you know that there are times where teachers won't have subs, whether they don't call the sub or the sub doesn't show, creating a rotation schedule so that okay, February 22nd, if there's sub coverage needed, I'm going to be on deck for that day. But making sure that everybody gets kind of a equal opportunity, if you will, to kind of be pulled for those things instead of just really pulling from one specific area of teachers, that are constantly doing that, because it can quickly become really overwhelming. But also, when you're on a block scheduling, remember that your teachers do not have daily planning periods. They have them typically alternating days. And if those teachers also have PLCs or, other federal paperwork that they have to get done, things like that, and you have, let's say you have to watch a class twice in 1 week, then you're quickly behind in what you have to do and deadlines you have to meet. So that's just one of the things that I suggest from my experience, is doing a rotation schedule. That's also a suggestion when it comes to duty. If you're a small school, sometimes it's understandable, but I've also seen where in smaller schools, typically our coaches and our male staff would have like bus duty, morning duty, those type of things. But then maybe sometimes we would alternate it with some other with our other departments for lunch duty, so they didn't have lunch duty, just trying to make it equitable and balanced. Again, there's so many ways to do that, but the ultimate goal is to make sure that, number one, you are prioritizing your school culture. School culture comes from how teachers feel about what's happening around them, about their input, and ultimately it is the number one factor that affects student outcomes as well. Because if you don't have quality teachers, or you have well, unhappy, unsatisfied, unsupported teachers, then you will have teacher attrition. And so that we know that that's the number one contributing factor for negative student outcomes. So it's just me. Um, in my experience as a educational professional over 20 years at multiple levels, just giving you my input. I hope y'all have a happy Monday. God bless.